So what is up, everybody? I hope you are doing well, and welcome to another forecast for the week of July 20th to July 24th. I think it's going to be a pretty exciting week this week. We're starting to see a bit of a breakdown in the dollar. Indices are starting to push a little bit higher, so I'm expecting some movement happening across the board. You can see a lot of the dollar pairs are looking to break out and potentially push higher. But as always, we have the catalyst of COVID lurking around the corner. And the question that, I ask myself, and I'm sure a lot of you guys asking yourself, is how much worse is the situation going to get with this second wave? The UK is now starting to talk about it a lot more. Obviously, the States is, a lot of people will argue, did the first wave ever even end? And a lot of this risk-off sort of sentiment has been pushed, obviously, by Fed-fueled buying within the market. However, it's going to be a tussle with this to see where it goes. I think leading into the week, the best way would be to basically monitor the DXY, which I've got in front of us here. Just so you guys who do not know what the dollar index is, this is basically an index where it measures the strength of the dollar currency against the majority of 7 other major currencies. So whenever you're looking at the dollar index, you do get a good idea of where the dollar is going to be moving for the week ahead. In the overview last week, I did share the potential of a dollar breaking lower. And we can see that starting to form now. If you do remember, I highlighted this low here and also this line of support, which the dollar was bouncing off previously for a number of days. Now we have broken and we've closed 3 days now beneath this support level, which, if you look back on these dates here, you can see that we had a close here, yes, but then buyers bought the pair straight back above and closed back above this support level. So it did not hold at that point as resistance. Buyers were not happy to give that level up. But you can see here, we've had a clean breakdown. We've had a retest of that level. And then we've had even a daily reversal candle form on the rejection of that level, which we can see on the 4-hour here. I did highlight this level. I did highlight the rejection. So now what it comes down to is, will the dollar break lows? This is the key area for the dollar to hold. You can see but buyers are not really supporting this pair anymore. You can see we had one final exhaustion push here between sellers, just basically shot it back down. However, as long as we're above this low and we're above this level of support, there is the potential for another push. So we cannot think that this is the end of the dollar. We do have to monitor this and wait to see these lows broken for confirmation that we're going to see a lot more dollar downside. And in this environment with COVID going on at the moment, there's every potential that buyers will not give up on the dollar, obviously due to its safe haven sort of appeal right now. That's basically where the struggle lies with investors. Where do they put their money? So for now, looking at the S&P, we do see a bit of correlation here in the fact that we could be seeing reversal setting up as well for the dollar and the S&P in the short term. Keeping in mind, this is my opinion on it. Why I say that is, if we're looking at the SNP500 here, I talked about these highs. These highs were set in place, as you can see, in June, and we've yet to break above these highs. However, the 4-hour close here on a daily level, it's still not broken these highs. So even if I just want to, you can see how these highs, again, marry up with this support level, which we've broken here. We're still struggling to break that. So on a closer sort of, if we put a horizontal ray here on very top, you can see, we just make that a different color. Let's make this one purple. You can see that buyers just cannot break this on a daily close, and we are finding some rejection. So what we may find is a play of range. I'm just putting a short position here, not because I'm entering any shorts. I'm just using it to highlight the range in which we could see the S&P kind of move about. We could be looking at this range forming here with this level of support here being the key support to hold the pair from breaking new lows. So if the S&P does come down and break this support level, we could be looking at a corrective structure forming on a bearish leg. Purely because we could be looking at formation of lower highs and also lower lows being formed on this break. If we get a retest with some rejection, or a Fibonacci level up here with some rejection to form that lower high. So a lot of these pairs you'll see that we're going to look at. So we're going to look at GU, EU, AU. A lot of them seem to be setting up for a bullish run on equities and a leg lower on dollar. But if you read the news, as I said, with Florida's cases, Arizona's cases, hospitalization in Miami. They're now apparently ICUs are 122%. Things are going a little bit crazy. We've got China, which has shut down another district. So we'll have to see if the world kind of follows suit with that. If it does, then we will see some sort of more deterioration in S&P and other equities. Looking at the Nasdaq as well, this is Nasdaq is all but confirmed a basic bubble forming here. Ignore that. You can see, looking at the daily, even let's look at the weekly, the Nasdaq's basically going vertical here. That's pure buyer, speculative buying right here, guys. Right now, this is pushing. When you see anything that's pushing in a sort of vertical axis like that, you can see that it's got to burst at some point, right? So really, it's not one to guess; it's one to play correctly once it does burst. There's nothing stopping the S&P from pushing up here to the 1.618 extension. That's an extreme high, obviously, of the initial sell-off here. If we bring this down, actually, looking at the expansion, it could be even further. This would be unheard of, obviously. So really, with the S&P, with the Nasdaq here, should we get a breakdown of structure, I think we could see the Nasdaq really take a tumble, guys. And if the Nasdaq takes a tumble, then we're looking at the S&P to follow massively. It will drag the S&P down hardcore as well. Obviously, tech shares are a large majority, but we can see, that it's quite a vicious buying sentiment coming in here. I got caught on buy myself, where I actually got stopped out. But until we see a break of structure, like I said, this bubble is still intact. And until we see this break, then buyers are still going to keep stipulating and taking long positions on the S&P. But this is extremely overvalued. And to be honest, where we saw Netflix earnings drop off 7%, basically their stock crashed 7% on their Q3 earnings, as they predicted they weren't going to get as much subscriber growth. That could be a sign of things to come with a few earnings reports as we come out. But definitely one to watch on the Nasdaq as well. If we break this trend line structure here and we go on to form lower lows and lower highs, we could be seeing the start of a reversal on the Nasdaq, which would be, in my mind, would be a big reversal. Like with anything, when you pop a bubble, it's going to explode. So leading on from equities and everything like that, we'll look at gold very quickly just to see where gold's at. Gold is obviously still holding its close above 1800 level, which is a key level for gold to maintain above all-time highs. Now, in order for us to pay the way to these numbers of 1824 and to extension 1840 area, we will need to clear these highs. So for now, while gold is playing this range, I'm not going to get involved in it, purely because it's too much speculation as to whether it's going to sell off or whether it's going to break. So like with everything, the best bet, which, best practice when you're trading breakouts, is obviously wait for the pullback, right? So we could expect gold to break out, form a new higher low, and then go onwards to make new highs, to which I would be looking for extensions here. But for me, I wouldn't be looking to buy gold until we clear a clear close with sort of bullish rejections to the upside, in which then I think, sure, we could comfortably get in long. One thing to watch out for, as usual, is if we do have a breakout, let's just draw any Fibonacci retrace. Obviously, we don't know where it's going to go, but if we do have a breakout, we'll need to watch for a pullback to these levels before we enter longs, just on the process of that, as an example, because we could see gold pull back quite deep on an intraday basis. What we're looking for key is daily. You can see on the daily very clearly we have this range here. So what we're looking for is a break of this range. That will give you the best risk to reward, and will also make sure that you're not going to get caught in a reversal. Because you can see, I got caught buying it too early, and then even buying it too early, we got dragged down here to support level once I thought it broke out of some sort of structure. But you can see it's just been dragging between this range, and that will catch a lot of people out, because this range is, it's what is that? It's roughly a 200 pip range, guys. So keep that in mind. So you will need to kind of position yourself smartly here, because like I always say, when you're trading at all-time highs like this, there's always the possibility of a massive pullback. So you can't write that off the cards just because it's been trending bullish now for an unbelievable amount of time. There's always room for bearish correction in the market. So keep that in mind, guys. But looking at the main Forex pairs, let's look at AUD, USD. This is what I mean by a lot of pairs seem to be on breaking point where they are looking to break out. Now, the key barrier for AU has basically been the 700 psychological level. If we mark that level here, we can see how this level has acted profoundly throughout history as our level of resistance and as our level of support, mostly for resistance for the pair, capping it. But you can see it's been a huge level here as a supportive structure as well. So there is a lot of supply and a lot of demand happening within this level here. Obviously, we can see it tracing back here as history. We look at the daily. That's what we're looking for most here. You can see it's super key level. Where are we at now in regards to that? We're just below it, guys. We are just below it, but we have broken out of this bullish pennant here. So we're in a massive uptrend here. We formed a bit of consolidation up here. However, we formed a bullish consolidation in the form of the pennant. And what we had, I had a long position on here. I tapped out just because it was going nowhere. And we had this bit of range pullbacks here. Ideally, this would be your best entrance here on the retest. However, what we did not see was a push and a break of the 0.7 level, which is the key for buyers to clear. If buyers clear that level, then it's happy days. It's onwards and upwards. And if we do break that level, we can expect to test even this Fibonacci level up here, which would be the expansion of that leg there. And we can see how this level here has acted as resistance for the pair numerous times. It's also been a key pivot within this range between these two supports and resistance levels. So if we can clear a daily close with some bullish rejections to provide support of the 0.7 level, not just an intraday fake out, then we could definitely be looking for longs. However, as I always highlight, is this huge trend line, these huge trend line structures that come into play, which can be seen best on our weekly levels. Coming from these highs down to here, we do have this, it hasn't been touched yet, but we could see how that could act as an indefinite target almost for longs. Keeping in mind, we would also be breaking out of this trend line structure here. So it's a lot of heavy resistance coming into play here, guys. A lot of heavy resistance, but I still really like this as a long. I think, a lot of the USD pairs are shaping up for breakouts. We've just got to be really, really diligent on making sure we have confirmations of them. Because I initially thought this was going to be the breakout on AU here once we broke out the structure. And obviously we came back for the retest. And we never closed above that 0.7 level, which, could signal there's still weakness on hand for AU. Nothing stopping it from pulling back and then continuing on. But for now, as long as we're above this broken resistance now turned support on the bullish pennant trend line, then, there's no counting off more room for upside as well. And like I said, that area there would be kind of an ideal target, like if we're playing that range. So if we're watching AU, guys, watch this level, mark the 0.7 level, watch the 4 hour for entries, see if we get some bullish price action, see if we get some wicks forming to show that there are buyers kicking in and supporting the pair, and then we could definitely get in on some longs there. Obviously, we've just got to take out these highs here as well. So keep in mind that even though we do have this area of support to look for buys, there are some strong levels of resistance ahead before a proper breakout. So you ask yourself the question, is this the best risk to reward? And is this the best trade to necessarily look to get into? Well, we can't predict that. Unfortunately, the market will give us the opportunity when it shows it, and it may not even show the opportunity. So we've just got to monitor that one. But this is just the key level, guys. Just mark this level up and watch that. Like I said, we've closed a couple of trend line structures here on the daily. We've got this one other trend line structure to clear here, and we have these levels of support and resistance to break through. More especially just these levels here, which would just clear these highs of this 0.6, this 0.706 area, which is another strong level. So just watch price action, guys. I'm going to be watching it throughout the week. I'm not sure I'm going to trade much AU, but I will be dropping the charts in there. Obviously, I got ripped apart by Aussie last week. The problem with trading Aussie is you're trading risk. Just keep that in mind. So you're trying to predict whether or not the market or investors are looking for a riskier asset to invest in, or if they go for the safe havens, IDOD, USD, Swissy, JPY, and anything like that. I think gold, yes, it's a safe haven now, but it's in a safe haven of its own class, as a lot of people are using it as a hedge against inflation recently. So what we are looking for with risk assets, when I talk about risk assets, we're talking about GV, we're talking about Aussie, we're talking about Kiwi, we're talking about CAD, we're talking about anything that's really commodity related. Or, as I said, if people wanted to kind of bet on the riskier horse, they'll be going with those ones. The next pair I wanted to look at was Euro USD. Let me just change that. I think Euro USD could be making its way to break higher as well. I just want to look at the daily on this. So looking at this structure, looking at this structure, this is the only real level that I'm going to be watching here is these highs here. Now we've cleared above these highs. You can see that the pair is finding some support above this level here. And buyers are yet to really take out this high, although we have technically closed just above it. With the numbers on coronavirus coming up, I would expect that we may get a pullback on the dollar, just to ride a bit of strength into the week before the numbers stop kind of getting people worried, and then they kind of just keep going for a bit of risk on buying. But what I would be looking for is this 0.35 level here and these highs on top of this Fibonacci level as well. Be looking for a pullback here and then a daily close back above here. Just as long as this level holds as our support level, I definitely think we're going to run at these highs here. Again, like I said, we could find it. If we find it back down to here, find a little bit of consolidation moving around here, and then we come up to test these highs over here, which puts us at the 1.49, 1.5 level, which is going to be another really strong level for Euro USD and a huge level to break. But that's what I would like to see. For me, I'd be looking to have buys from the 1.35 level. Should we see some constructive bullish price action and making sure that we do not close beneath this level on a daily basis, I'm pretty sure we get on quite tight stop there and ride that out to these extreme highs here. Obviously, keeping in mind that we will have resistance along the way within this area here. That obviously comes to the 1.45 area where we peaked on this breakout here. So expect a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of range potentially, but anything that pops down here and we don't close beneath this area, that's where I'm looking to buy, guys. As long as we do not close beneath 1.35 within this highlighted zone here, I'm happy to stay bullish EU. And this is obviously, as I was tying in with the DXY, tying in with equities, that would obviously favor in the form of risk on to see the DXY push lower and create new lows, and dollar kind of keep melting off. EuroCAD, just look at this really briefly. We're still in this trade. I like this trade a lot. I don't see any reason for it not to hit our take profit up here. That's a nice 256 pips on that move. As we can see, it's been a constant sort of attraction for all candles. It's been a huge level of supply and demand for the pair and a huge level of resistance, having only broken up and quickly broken back down beneath that level. So I don't see any reason why as a seller you wouldn't be waiting for here, or as a buyer you wouldn't be targeting here. So we can ride that one out. Happy with that one. GU again. Interesting. We are holding massive support along this level. We have yet to break down below this 1.253 level, which I talked about. Unfortunately, we got caught on this fake out here on this pin bar. But just the fact that it refuses to close beneath this level does indicate that there may be some more strength in GB or weakness in USD. There's two ways to look at it. But we do have a lot of sort of strong resistance coming into play up here. Again, you can see we failed to break this level here, and we do have this trend line resistance coming into play as well. So there's quite a lot going on with GU. There's quite a lot in its path for bulls. So subjectively, it looks more favorable for short sellers, purely just because there's a lot of levels for buyers to take out, and we have seen a little bit of a we've seen some weakness forming late into the week last week where we failed to make any new highs on this leg here. but we are failing to make any new lower lows as well. So again, we're stuck in this range. So really what you'd be looking for trading on this is a breakout, even of this trend line structure here, with stops below recent resistance. That would be ideal. But again, you want to be buying from the bottom ideally. So if we do get some dollar weakness and we do get one more pop down here, on the hourly, we can see buyers remained in control to close the day off. But this level here, which was our double top, so it'd be interesting to see if we can get some longs in. I'm going to be super slow with the week, guys. I need to make sure I get more confirmation before entering trades. It was a bit sloppy last week, and I apologize. There was a few really good setups that I liked, but we didn't get to stay in the positions, and we got pulled out of them quite quickly. And that purely was down to the fact that I didn't see the necessary confirmations, which I always wait for. So my plan of action is to really make sure that throughout the week I'm focused on that. CAD Swissy was a pair that was a fantastic example of that. We had a huge false breakout here out of this descending channel. And now I think, to be honest, we could definitely go down. We could come down lower here, to retest the backside of this bottom Fibonacci level as well. Obviously we come down here, but we'll have to wait and see, guys. I'm not trading CAD Swissy next week, so it really, really depends on what happens with price action. Sorry, my flatmate just came into the room, guys. CAD JPY, again, we're still stuck in range here, guys. Not too much going on with this pair. Does just show, again, people don't really know what to do with it, so we're stuck in range between this resistance level and this support level here as well. Don't see anything shaping up on that trade. GU we looked at. UCAD, what's UCAD looking like? I'm still favoring shorts on UCAD, but until I can get an entry on it, I'm not going to be trading it. So how am I going to trade UCAD? It's either going to be a break below this level here, or we're going to get a break above this level here. With my bias being sort of short dollar long term, I would much rather be selling it. But if we can get some bullish price action coming up off this level here, we could definitely see retests up to these levels, or at least to retest these highs here. So the risk to reward is not as good in my mind for shorts, for longs, sorry, as it is for shorts. But we'll just have to wait to see how UCAD plays out. Those are the two levels I'm watching for UCAD, though. So just keep those levels in mind. Make sure we get it closed. But we will have to see. Right now, while we're stuck between these levels here, there is no trade in my mind. GU looked at that. Yep. UJ, don't trade UJ gold. Yeah, guys, that's really it. I think it's really going to depend on the DXY. It's going to depend on our dollar index here. Will we break these lows? Will we play a bit of range between these supports? Will COVID send dollar sky high? Only to see it pull back again. Just remember, as long as these highs here are not broken, we could still be forming lower highs, and then potentially on to form lower lows. But keep that in mind, guys. Obviously, we have this trend line structure coming into play as well. Could draw one like that, and then obviously we have a small short-term trend line structure as well. Coming into play like that. But yeah, guys, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions, or if there's anything I can help you with. Please do fire them in the comments. Hit me up on Telegram. We're gonna have an Invest Beyond chat opening up soon, everything like that. So do stick around, guys. It's gonna be good. But just looking at some of these Aussie pairs, Aussie CAD, we didn't trade that. I was looking for shorts on that. AJ, again, it's holding above this support level here. So everything's, in my mind, everything's looking quite constructive for a bullish Aussie, to be honest with you. S&P also, everything's looking constructive for a bullish S&P. You've got the daily reversal on the dollar. We've got this, this tweezer tops forming, tweezer tops coming off this rejection. and it has basically, railroad tracked that shit. So again, let's just wait to see how these levels play. Let's take it slow. Let's not jump into everything unless there's a real opportunity that kind of shows its face. I know GN is another one that I was looking at. I'm very interested in shorting this pair. However, I'm only going to short it once we break these back beneath this level of support here and we come up to retest it. So I think that would be a fantastic trade as well. I'd like to see it come down, come back up to test this level, and then we can get another bearish rejection and further downside. Again, all of this leading into a nice risk-on sort of week. Should we see some New Zealand strength coming off and with the back of the S&P rallying. But this would be a nice one. This is a clean 334 or 346 pip trade as well. But yeah, guys, super quick overview. I want to focus on the week of trading ahead. I've got a Fibonacci video which I recorded, which I'm just editing now. I've got a whole load of new content coming up, which I'm excited about. So give it a like, give us a comment, share, get the word out there. I'm going to keep pushing as much free content as I can for you guys. And hopefully, this week is going to be a good week, which I'm pretty positive it will be. Should we stick to our rules and we make sure we get our confirmations. Anyway, guys, take it easy. Peace.